I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's good? Happy Thursday. Good afternoon and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. 107thescore.com and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, powered by our friends at Happy State Bank. We're watchable on television, Fox 34 News now, and on the YouTube machine. If you want to take us in, you can view us there. Also on your AM dial, 950 AM. However, wherever you're joining us from, we're glad that you've decided to make us part of your Thursday. We being myself, Chois Woodman, and Jeff McGuire into my right today. Clint Scott makes his return to the building with a hazmat suit on.
Thank you for not using triumphant when you said return.
It doesn't sound very triumphant. You sound way better than when you left us on Monday, but you're still not.
And the hazmat suit really does
tones.
make you look good. Like, I'm going to give you some credit on that you fill that out well.
It's form-fitting more than I thought. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is a little bit of a problem.
The looks that some of the people were giving you in the office, I felt were a little unjustified because you're just trying to protect us.
Y'all bring in the thoughts, the comments, the questions, the making fun of Clint, whatever you want on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app and at 107thescore.com. Take that app anywhere with you. Listen in even if you're out in Old Mystic, Connecticut.
I should really get in the habit of asking you what this city is beforehand.
What?
So that I can look it up, because I always like knowing what this is.
Well, honestly, I don't know what the city is. I have a big old list of cities.
Yeah. And that's why I want to look it up.
But I usually just decide it as I pull the list up.
Right. So. No, I totally get that. But like when you say it, I'm like, I wonder where that is in Connecticut. Now, granted, we have counties in Texas bigger than Connecticut.
I was about to say, Connecticut, you don't have to go too far around the state to find things.
Did you pull Old Mystic because it almost sounds like Ole Miss?
No, maybe like subconsciously.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, why is this funny?
You may have.
I had so much trouble watching that basketball game last night, Ole Miss and Texas, because I've never.
You didn't want Ole Miss to win, and you didn't want Texas to win.
Yeah, I've never actively rooted for the Longhorns, but I was as close as I've ever been last night because the thought of the team that fired Chris Beard beating Chris Beard would be pretty fun, but at the same time, that burnt orange is.
It's still burnt orange.
Intolerable. So.
I got burnt orange twice, if you will, because first I was rooting for A&M against Texas, wah there, and then I was rooting for Texas against Ole Miss, double wah, and so it's just like, can we figure this out? I hate that I'm pulling, like, not even questioning, like actively pulling for one of you. At least don't screw it up.
Yeah,
I will root for Ole Miss. I guess it tilted that direction last night because there's still a couple people on that staff I like and respect.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Al Pinkins is a really good guy.
I was verifying it wasn't Texas.
No, Al Pinkins is a really good guy. I like him. There's a couple others on that staff that just have Chris Beard stink on them because of where they're at. Mm-hmm. But I think there's good people, and I'll root for Patton Pinkins when he goes to Ole Miss next year. So
yeah,
so it's kind of I better just kind of get used to it. Or Chris Beard could go get another job somewhere else, and
he's going to be North Carolina's next head coach.
And then Al will get the job, and then
going back to Old Mystic, this may be the biggest city you've ever pulled for this.
How big?
3,554 in 2010.
Okay.
For your cities that are nowheresville.
Most are unincorporated places.
Yeah.
Do you think they're known for their pizza there?
They are a census-designated place.
Is that a pizza thing?
Mystic Pizza?
Mystic Pizza.
Old Mystic.
Like Old Mystic.
Was a little
and they're growing. In 2000, there were 3,200 people.
Let's go. Old Mystic.
They are
just a budding community.
300 people more now. That's a not insignificant change when you're that small.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Like they're going to
Not
know.
insignificant.
It's not insignificant. They're going to notice that there are more people there.
There's an influx of youths.
The Utes.
What's a Ute? Sorry, that's the joke. I'm sorry. You hear the word, you go with the joke.
An Indian, if you want to get really technical. Just saying.
Are you saying Ute?
I said youths.
Yeah.
I said Utes. Something terrible happened last night, obviously with the plane crash in Washington, D.C. That did have a sports tie-in because a whole lot of figure skaters were on there. So
yeah.
we'll learn more as that story continues to develop. Yeah, pretty terrible situation. There's a whole lot more near misses than people realize. I learned this a couple of years ago, but
yeah, you don't want to know
how many
what that
times
looks like.
Things almost happen in the air, but yeah. So definitely keep those families. I guess it seemed like there was some Russian national figure skaters as well.
There were 12 total people associated with figure skating on the American Airlines flight, and then obviously the 3 Army helicopter crew on the Black Hawk.
Yeah. So that was the terrible from the news world yesterday. Did have a sports tie-in. We'll get into a few different things today. Some news out of ESPN and the ACC, as ESPN is picking up the ACC options. So if the Big 12 thought it was going to grab a couple of teams from that way, it looks like that's not going to happen anytime soon. No, we'll see. But this option, if they did not pick up the option by February 1st, then the contract would have run out in 2027, so very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with ESPN doing this runs the ACC contract through 2036, a really long time from right now. So we'll get into that. We'll, of course, talk Texas Tech basketball as the Red Raiders have made it 5 in a row with the win over TCU last night. Texas Tech football loses what I believe is a pretty important staff member.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah.
I say loses. I don't think it's been officially reported or anything yet, but it seems like James Blanchard is going to take the general manager job, which is the same he's got at Texas Tech, over at Notre Dame. So there's that. How does that will be a recruiting effect more than anything for Texas Tech. A little bit later in the program, we'll throw out some power rankings. So plenty to dive into over the next, 3 hours or so. And also, Adam Silver. Baseball's not the only one floating some crazy ideas. Adam Silver, 10-minute quarters, anybody? I don't think this will ever happen, but NBA's getting desperate. They want people to watch games, and they're trying to figure out every way possible.
It's the baseball model.
It is.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, they're following baseball. Baseball's had some success in getting people to watch games, but NBA is
And then
plummeting.
they let Bally's get involved and screwed it up for everybody.
Hey, Ranger Sports Network, baby.
Right, but we
Can't wait.
It was last year that I'm
Victory
talking
Plus. I know.
I'm like, hey, let's get more people to watch and then not let anybody
Yeah,
watch.
hey, defending World Series champs. No one could watch you. It's the bottom line. We got headlines for you next on 100%.
I'm only a little bitter.
I'm a lot.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Thursday with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois Woodman, Jeff McGuire here in the First United Bank studio. I'll keep the thoughts and commentary rolling in on the 8th Flooring Center chat line. We'll see if we can get Jamie in on time today.
Was he not on time
He
yesterday?
skipped like the whole second hour.
Oh, wow.
It's need a whole extra hour.
Oh, like you were complaining.
I'm not complaining.
You got to trash officials for a whole extra hour.
I'm not complaining at all.
You're more complaining
No,
than
if
I'm
I
here,
wanted
so you
to
don't
trash
get to...
officials, I would just talk about that Nixon guy from last night. I've never seen one ref. I mean, you kind of had to be in-house to see this. but I don't know if I've ever seen one ref. Yeah, nice. Call more, and I didn't think there were a lot of bad calls or anything, but he had to have blown the whistle 80% of the time last night of all the officials. I think I'm going the low side.
Okay.
He called so many fouls.
Well,
he just thought he saw more than the others, I guess.
I do have an update for us for the softball league.
Okay. Okay.
The reason we can't find any information out about where these teams are positioned is the AUSL will be a travel league for the first year.
Let's go.
Going around the country before they become a city-based league in 2026.
So we get like backflips and bats on fire and these sorts of things?
I don't think they're going that way, but
okay.
the Bandits, the Blaze, the Talons, and the Volts, are the 4 teams.
That is kind of interesting because I feel like in the, let's just say like the XFL vein, like you have an XFL team thrust upon you, and if you don't care, like, hey, hope you care, Birmingham,
right,
go for it. Like if you are interested in this, you can just kind of pick a team, and then if they
and then they get thrown into a city
if they land in
after
a
that.
location, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
But I kind of like the.
This is how old baseball used to be back in the day.
Yeah,
big time.
I kind of like the route they're going here.
From the Yates Flooring Center chat line, Woodman, why were you with the enemy last night? I don't know what you're talking about.
Traitor.
Rooting for Texas.
No, I don't think that's what they're talking about.
Benedict Woodnold. That's hard to say.
Someone says he's been doing that a lot lately. And then
Wait,
Clint
were
had
you on the
terrible-
call?
I was not on the call, no.
You were producing the game.
I might have set up equipment for people that were in purple and sat by them. Hey, you know what? And I have done
Did you get
it.
paid?
I did it for
Did you get
Arizona.
paid? Did you get paid?
I did get paid.
All right.
Money's still green. I did it for Arizona. I've done it for
Did you get
TCU.
more money from them than Arizona?
No, actually less. Arizona paid good.
In DFW, does the W stand for Woodman? I'm just trying to ask for friends.
Fort Woodman. I do like the sound of that. I actually, no, they needed help with an engineer, so I helped them out. But there is a common denominator. Both the games I've done for the other team this year, we've won.
Did they thank you? In person.
They did. No, I will say of all the Big 12 play-by-play guys, Brian Estridge is as stand-up as it gets. So,
okay.
Even though he wears purple, he's a fantastic
It's funny. That's
dude.
about the nicest thing I can ever think about TCU is because I've never heard a bad thing about him.
Yeah, hey, great dude. Play-by-play guy. Everything
not
else about TCU,
right? He might be great, but you can tell he's not because he can't find anybody to come set his board up for him.
So in all transparency, all honesty, I think I've done 5 of these games over the last few years where they needed a producer engineer for opposition, and this was the game by far I could see the least of the court. Because Jamie Dixon. Well, I did do Georgetown, and Patrick Ewing was a giant that would get in front of me, but Dixon just right over the line of sight the entire game.
On the court. On the court,
Yes,
in the line of sight.
On the court,
yeah, right,
too. Yeah.
Like you were blocked everywhere.
But no, it was...
Did you ever have a player run between him and you?
Oh, plenty of times, yeah.
Like while he was on the court?
Plenty of times. Yeah, every time anybody would go to the scorer's table, no one's walking in front of
No, I'm
Jamie
talking
Dixon.
on the court. On the court. Like he was on the court and the player ran between him and the court.
No, I'm saying, but he was so far out, yeah.
Jamie Dixon is the best 6th man in college basketball.
He really kind of is.
He's there.
He's the only 6th man that can actually be on the court apparently at the same time as the other 5.
So, yeah, if Tech would have lost, it would have been bad. But no, I was. Who says I'm not? Who says I'm not funneling secrets to Grant McCaslin the whole game?
You should have accidentally put your foot under Jamie Dixon's when he was there. So the accidental ankle rolling.
I don't know that I could have. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Jeff,
Sneed is listening. Choice, I dare you to officiate youth summer basketball so you can see how hard it is, and let's see if you have the same opinion of those officials.
What officials?
The ones at youth summer basketball.
My opinion of the officials last night was there was one guy that blew his whistle way more than the other, and that wasn't an opinion. That was a fact. So,
He was counting in a
basketball.
clicker.
If you listen fairly often to me, I will tell you basketball is the hardest sport to officiate. I don't think many people disagree with that. Basketball is by far the hardest, and it's something I wouldn't want to do because it's so difficult. So now there's also a massive difference between guys that are getting $2,000 to $3,000 a night and bouncing around 3 places in a week and making tons of money. I don't know if they get that much, but it's close. And by the way, that was a Pac-12 crew last night. Very, very unfamiliar.
Because it used to be a Big 12.
Former Pac-12
former
crew
Pac-12
that has
crew. Got
meshed
it. Okay.
into the Big 12. One we're not used to seeing and loving.
Which that was something on like all angles I hadn't thought about, like getting like Dave Pash and stuff like that on like the announcing side or play-by-play side.
There's definitely some
Very
merging
interesting.
going on.
Yeah.
Definitely some merging. Do you want the? No, I'll hold on to the
list.
your list.
I mean, we've got 4 minutes.
I know.
Is it a longer list than 4 minutes?
No, but I just feel like you will want to spend a little more time on it.
Well, we can do this more time after Kaylee's Dailies.
How about the Adam Silver? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll hold on to it till
Okay.
after. Adam Silver has proposed 10-minute quarters for the NBA.
Saw this.
This is peculiar.
So many questions.
I guess are we just so narrow-minded? I'm saying, I guess, short track minded. I don't even know if that's a word.
It is now. If it's not,
That
it is now.
we can't sit there for games anymore because everybody wants to shorten everything.
Is the NBA game too long? I don't think the NBA game's too long.
I don't know.
It's not like baseball where it could go for 4 hours and you're still in the 3rd inning. There's a ton of timeouts, but I still feel like it's moving.
I have a theory. I think that this is them admitting that, one, not admitting because everyone can see that their viewership is going down and the game is not as growing as it once was, because there was a time it felt like it really was the fastest growing professional sport.
Oh, it was
going global, and now it is trending down. I think this is them saying, how do we counteract load management even more? Well, if there's less minutes to play, then obviously that would be more appealing to the players. If you're getting the stars to play more consistently, that's going to be more appealing to fans.
It won't.
But I think this is also this is their theory, and this is also them saying, I wish we could shorten the season, but we can't because of TV contracts, and there's no way you can ever go back games. So how do we do that? We play the same amount of games.
Less
time.
Less minutes.
So I do wonder. I mean, it still takes away TV spots because there's going to be less game there for the TV spots.
That's what the extended pregame show is for.
Or I don't know. This would narrow the game by 8 minutes. And this was, by the way, on the Dan Patrick Show, which you can hear on Double T 97.3. That Silver says this yesterday. He said, as we get more involved in global basketball, the NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. And I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters. He says, I'm not sure that many others are, putting aside what it means for records and things like that. That's where it gets hairy. I think that a 2-hour format for a game is more consistent with modern television habits. Right now,
I mean, it's what, 2:20 now?
it's about 2:15, 2:16 on average.
Okay.
So you cut it down. Look, I don't think this is going to get any more people to watch games.
Nope.
I don't. If that's the goal, the load management stuff, I think Clint's right on that. But if you're wanting to watch games, you get gimmicky and try things out like that. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but putting a 4-pointer in somehow, whether it's a circle on the court or a line that's projected onto the court at various times throughout a game, whatever. There's some gimmicks out there that they could do that maybe will draw some other people in.
Are we going like MTV Jock Jam game type stuff or Rock Jock?
4-point line.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, a 4-point line. Like something along...
What if we put a second hoop above the other hoop? And if you make it in both hoops, it's double points.
Okay, now we're talking.
Now we need some trampolines. Okay? These are all the things that we saw on MTV.
It does just feel like it's gone to almost an all-star game for the NBA.
What the hell is that called?
It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Appreciate you hanging with us on a Thursday. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Choice Woodman, Joffrey McGuire.
Oh, Joffrey.
Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. You two can join us.
Joffrey of the Maguires.
Thoughts, comments, questions, all encouraged on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Before we return to any of those or the particular list I've got picked out for Jeff, let's get to Kaylee's Dailies. Caw.
Okay.
Jeff, Clint.
Choice. Clint.
With the excitement of Pooforia, I completely forgot yesterday was the Chinese Lunar New Year.
Okay.
Everybody should have that
at
the
forget?
forefront of your mind.
Yeah,
And this year is the year of the
Snake.
Why are you reading these? You're
I'm
allowed
not.
to read ahead.
I knew this
is it-
already.
is it really?
It really is the snake.
Do you
yes.
actually you know these things?
I don't know these things. I knew this one because I've seen it already.
The only time I knew what New Year it was in China was whenever I went to the China Star restaurant up in Amarillo, Texas, and they had it all like set out for you on the placemat. So that was the only time I'd catch up on that.
I get there's 5 or 6 different places that have talked about it in the world that I pay attention to. So
it is the year of the snake, but what exactly does that mean?
I don't know.
In Chinese cultures, the start of the Lunar New Year actually begins well after the beginning of our calendar year during the first new moon. There are 12 zodiac signs in the Chinese calendar, each representing an animal. The beginning of the Chinese New Year is supposed to signify good luck, regality, and rebirth. 2025 is the year of the snake. The year of the snake is described as a year with chaos and great turmoil.
good, because we need another one of those.
People born in the year of the snake are said to be resilient and strong with good interpersonal skills. I was born in the year of the ox in 97. Old Sneed was born in the year of the rooster in 69. What year are you?
78.
You are a horse.
I'm a horse.
Snake. I'm a snake.
Gosh.
I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a slithery little sneaky snake.
That's
Allegedly.
unfortunate. I am also a horse.
You're also a horse.
Clint's a...
I'm pretty sure I was a monkey.
you're a goat.
I was like, oh, yeah.
You're 91, right?
No, 92.
Suck it.
Are you going to tell us what a horse is?
You are a
supposed to be,
monkey.
since you're
See,
supposed to.
I remember
And-
there was a dragon buffet, or excuse me, Dragon's Den in Pratt, Kansas. This little hole-in-the-wall Asian buffet.
Uh-huh.
And their placemats was the calendar
Same for
with
us.
all of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
China Star.
And I remember
What's a horse? The horse, you talked about the snake is all these things. What's the horse?
I'm not going to go through it. I got a list to get to.
All right, what are your list?
It's
I'll
just
look
a
up the horse.
He's a monkey.
I'll look up horse.
Rob's
you
a
do
snake.
your thing. I'll pay attention to the horse. You're fine.
Rob Rowe's a snake, by the way. No, you listen because this list is for you.
We're not on that list. We're still doing Kaylee's Dailies.
No, that was it.
That was it? It's just the year of the snake?
You're the snake.
Okay. I
right.
thought she was going to talk like a specific snake or something.
the snake.
A little snake at a snake.
I'll say the list. Go ahead.
All right. Jeff, I've got a top 10 here put together by,
The internet?
this one is Fox Sports.
Okay. Is it worst fan base, most tortured fan bases?
The Daily Ranker, Fox Sports. No, this is
Because I'm in 2 of them.
sports video game characters. Top 10 sports video game characters of
Okay.
all time.
Is this...
There is one big omission that's not on here that should be.
Are we talking like
Already.
Michael Vick from... was
See if
that
you can get the year.
Madden? That would have been 99?
Nope,
2000?
04.
04. He would be one.
That is number one on the list.
Can I guess what the omission is?
Is Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl?
You can guess, yeah.
If the big omission is Pablo Sanchez.
No, he is number 2 on this list. Bo Jackson is 3, so you guys are doing good. Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl is 3. Y'all have got the top 3 on your first 3 guesses.
Those are all correct, by the way. All 3 of those were correct for top
Number
3.
4's probably a perfect number 4.
Sonic?
No.
Because he was in a couple of, they did some Sonic baseball games.
No.
I was thinking NBA Street, but I can't remember who the guy with the afro was. That was like a made-up player.
Oh, yeah.
Super good.
He was up there, but if you can't remember his name, then it shouldn't be a top 10. Number 4, Mike Tyson of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Yep.
Number 5, John Dowd. MVP Baseball 2005, which was actually a white guy that represented Barry Bonds. Remember, Barry Bonds did not turn over his player rights.
I do remember
and he was an amazing player on there. John Dowd was his name. And I couldn't have pulled his name, but I do remember
now that you
05
mention it,
baseball. Was that the one with Pujols on the cover? I can't remember. Number 6, a very current one.
Very current?
Oh, is Patrick Mahomes on this list?
It is not Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
It is Travis Hunter of College Football 25.
Oh.
Okay.
You know who should be on this list? I don't know if they are.
Who's that?
Is from NCAA 14. Johnny Manziel was stupid on that game.
He is not on this list.
Stupid on that game.
How many real athletes are on this list still?
All but Pablo and John Dowd are real athletes. Peja Stojakovic in NBA Ballers. I don't know that one. Michael Jordan in NBA 2K11.
Oh.
That was the Jordan edition, and it was...
Yes, and correct.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dirty.
Tiger Woods in PGA Tour. Woods PGA Tour 09.
I've only had my mind stuck on, the big 3.
Yep.
Is Wayne Gretzky going to be on here?
Wayne Gretzky is not.
That feels like a good answer, though.
The 10th one is soccer, and is Ronaldinho in FIFA 07.
Okay, well.
I never got into FIFA.
Mm-mm.
So the one omission to me is Tony Hawk from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Ooh. No, that's a solid choice.
Should have been on there.
That should have been on that list.
Should have been on there.
It's not even a niche game. That was everywhere.
That was a huge game. But all these, I think their top 3 are a perfect top 3. The Michael Vick, Madden,
I
Pablo
feel silly
Sanchez.
that we didn't get Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson Punch-Out, but I feel good that we got the top 3.
Well, here's the thing about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. As tough as Mike Tyson is on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, his setup for it is pretty standard. No matter when you fight Mike in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you got to survive the first 90 seconds of the first round because that's when his haymakers come, and then you're watching for the winks. Sandman was actually was harder for me to beat than Mike Tyson was because you had to go all the way through it to get to him, and if you lost a bout beforehand to somebody, the reset was so far back. Don Flamingo's where you had to go back to. And I can't believe I'm remembering this just off the top of my head like this.
Yeah.
It's probably been a decade since I've even had it in my NES. But, getting to Sandman was always harder than getting to Tyson. Or getting through Tyson.
So, there you have it. There's your list. Someone says Mike Vick. Flying Mammal said Mike Vick on Madden is truly the GOAT. Tony Hawk, another submission there. How do we not have a backyard baseball phone app? That would be the best phone video game out there.
For the same reason.
Sanchez.
The short answer to that question, it's for the same reason that we can't just watch every Cowboys game on any network we want.
I know, but how have they not sold the rights to that? I don't pay for apps. I would pay for that one.
The company that owns it wants to hold it until somebody gives them enough money.
How much would you pay for that app? Just said it because
probably
I would
$10.
Too.
Probably $10.
Yeah,
I'm not go crazy, but I'd pay $10 for that app just because of the memories of backyard baseball and Pablo. That was fun.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Onward to hour number 2 with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app and yours on the TV. Fox 34 News Now. Also on YouTube. Check out the Double T Sports Network there. Hit the like button, the subscribe button. We welcome it. You can chime in. As Jamie Lint joins us in the First United Bank studio.
Happy to do so.
I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott finally comes to work this week. He's across the way.
Allegedly.
You two can join us. The thoughts, the comments, the questions. All of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
The whole band or just Bono?
That's Clint's joke.
Has he used it before?
Oh man, when
That was
Choice
like
and
his
I were together, every
go-to.
single day, I was like, only you two. If you're Britney Spears, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Keith Urban, get out of here.
Yeah.
Only you two. The Beatles, there's only 2 of you left. Who cares?
It was a great joke until Clint did it, and now you're
Sorry.
trying to revive it.
I'm embarrassed.
No, Jamie, that's great. It was a great joke.
Okay.
Y'all hit us up, though. The thoughts, comments, questions. Bring them all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app and at 107thescore.com. You can even listen in if you're out in or on Beaver Dam, Canada. Is it in or on? Surely there's a Beaver Dam in Canada.
That feels legit.
I would guess so. We've covered some different topics over the first hour, Jamie. So welcome. We just went over a list of the top 10 sports video game characters of all time. I figured Jeff would like that more than you, so I brought it for him.
Top video game characters.
The little...
Jamie's is the Tetris L.
I was about to say, it was sports video game characters.
Yeah,
Sports.
no, actually I like the straight line.
I was about to say, Jamie's would be the little white bar for Pong. That's his sports video game.
Wasn't it
guys-
just supposed to be a paddle?
I guess it would be a paddle.
I can't believe you guys didn't suggest the Tetris square.
Hey-oh, with more squares inside of it.
4 squares.
It's true. No, it was the number one was Mike Vick from the 04 game. Then Pablo Sanchez. Jamie would have been a huge backyard baseball fan. You would have loved that video game. I think
I used to play baseball in the backyard.
Yeah.
The front yard and the side yard.
I think if
the
backyard
baseball yard.
if backyard baseball was on the phone, you would be addicted to it. I'm telling you. You're a baseball guy. It's so much fun. It's just good stuff.
Okay.
Number 3 was Bo Jackson with Tecmo Bowl. And then Mike Tyson Punch Out. Those two you surely played, right?
Never.
You didn't play Tecmo Bowl?
Never.
Wasn't that your era?
Did I have an era choice?
Just old is what they wrote on your era. Old.
I don't know. He had a rat tail era.
That is true. That's a Taylor Swift thing, right? Whatever era Jamie's in.
Jamie, have you seen your commercial? Has this already been brought up to you? I've already forgotten what the product is supposed to be for, but it's this dad making pancakes for his kid, saying things like, "That's sus," and he's just doing quotes like that to his 2 girls.
No.
And they're just like wanting to gag the whole time. I've seen it like 4 times, and every single time I'm like, they wrote this based off of the life of Jamie.
I thought it was the radio PSA that we're currently running that tells you to not yell at your kids in the car after the game, after they play a sporting event. I thought that's the one Clint was referring to.
Oh. Old Razzle Dazzle says, "Hey, Clint, Rob said you sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire's Robin Williams' brother in that movie, the one that's a little foo-foo and turns him into a girl guy. Or the guy that hides under the desk on Independence Day." I don't remember that one. I remember the way that you did sound like the dude
A little bit,
from
yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
You know
there
which
was a
one
lot
you're
of
talking about,
things.
Jamie? That one?
The guy under the desk.
No, the guy under the desk on Independence Day or Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams' gay brother.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You don't remember his voice?
I don't think I ever saw
You
Mrs.
absolutely
Doubtfire.
sounded like that on Monday. That's a pretty good comp, Rob. You never watched Mrs. Doubtfire?
I mean, I mean, I know exactly what it looks like. I just don't remember watching the whole thing.
Phenomenal.
I
movie.
thought there's an episode of How I Met Your Mother where they all take up smoking, and Lily's voice changes to where it's like, "Hey, pass me another cig," and that's what it sounded like to me.
It's about right. Hey, did you see the Super Bowl contest they got going? And by they, I mean Twix.
No, I did not.
Twix is offering you a chance at 2 gold bars.
Nice.
That's a lot of cash nowadays.
Okay.
You know how much that's worth? 2 solid gold bars in today's
2
cash
mil.
exchange.
2 mil.
Okay, not that much.
200 grand.
Close. 170.
Okay.
$170,000.
So they're each worth 85 grand.
That was fast math. You're not doing the new math over there, taking forever to dot your T's on the I's.
That makes sense.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Anyway, if you bite into a Twix bar that has spent years hidden in the pocket of a Halloween costume, you might hurt your teeth. But that's nothing like biting into an actual gold bar. Twix has announced a contest running in the Super Bowl where they want you to go to Twix.com on your phone during every commercial break. And they're trying to get you not to watch the Super Bowl commercials. So every commercial break, you have to go to Twix.com and compete in a staring contest. The screen will have 2 gold bars on it with an eye on each one, which apparently belonged to the hip-hop duo, the Ying Yang Twins. They'll keep track of how long you stare.
Weren't they just here? Am I making that up?
In Lubbock?
Yeah.
I think we had them for
for one of
the Raider Alley things. Yeah.
Jamie's a big fan of the Whisper song.
They'll keep track of how long you stare and how many ad breaks you participate. The higher your score, the more contest entries you receive, and at the end, one winner will receive 2 actual gold bars worth $170K.
You know, I heard this was actually a scam, and they're not going to give away a prize. It's just one big Twic.
I think I'll probably now stop eating Twix.
Because of this?
Because all they're doing is trying to promote people to go stare at their phones. Like they need to do that more to begin with.
It is a devious campaign because they're actually forcing you to stare at their ad the entire time.
Which means not watch other ones.
And not watch other ones.
You know, they're not forcing me to do anything. You don't have to do it, Choice.
What?
Don't tell them that.
They're telling me to.
Joyce, you have to. You have to do it.
Oh, I'll probably participate. I don't know. 2 gold bars. Hold on to those suckers. World War III hits are worth $2 million, like Jamie said.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. So I can mark you down for not participating in this during the Super Bowl.
No, my phone will probably be in the other room.
I will actually use one of my kids. Be like, your turn. Stare at it.
How old is the youngest?
Earn your keep. Walker's 6.
Yeah, use his phone.
Phone? He doesn't have a phone? Golly. No.
Whatever.
He will use my phone. But his attention span is that of a gnat. It will probably last 2 seconds. And then we're on to, what are those Clydesdales on the TV? He wouldn't say Clydesdales. Hairy horses. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Thursday with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lint, here in the First United Bank studio. Y'all keep pouring in the thoughts on and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line right now. Let's get powerful. Your 16 teams in the Big 12 Conference?
There's 16 now?
So I'm told.
Man, every time we do the power rankings, I'm really feeling the weight of the extra teams. I'm like, gosh, I have to keep going.
Do we keep going in this?
Can we go back to a 10-team conference? This was so much easier.
Liked it better that way.
Yes, I have my 16.
All right, I'm going to let you start first.
Number 16, Colorado.
Oh, man.
Number 15, Cincinnati. Number 14, Oklahoma State. 13, Arizona State. I have TCU at 12. Kansas State, after throttling OSU last night, is 11. Utah is at 10. UCF 9. West Virginia 8. BYU is 7th, which is right behind the team they just beat. Baylor at 6. Kansas is 5. Texas Tech 4. Right behind the team that they beat a few weekends ago. Arizona at 3. Iowa State 2. And Houston at 1.
Okay. We have similar-ish lists.
You have 16 also?
I do have 16 teams.
And you have Houston at 1 and Colorado at 16?
That is accurate.
Okay.
So there's some similarities there.
Uh-huh.
Colorado is 16. I've got OSU at 15. I mean, I don't know. I think they have the worst personnel in the Big 12 of anybody. I don't think they have the worst coach. Cincinnati's 14, 13 Kansas State. Yeah, it was one result, but I think they're still an absolute mess. 12 Texas Christian, 11 Arizona State. 10 Utah, 9 Baylor, 8 Brigham Young, 7 West Virginia, though they are on the decline for sure.
Feels like it.
I give them one more week up there around 7 before they may fall to more of the 9-10 range. 6 UCF. Who'd you have at 6?
Baylor.
Okay.
I just feel like they're going to come around. Hopefully not Tuesday.
I was about to say.
I hope they come
if
around.
I'm the
but then they
jaded
come
Red
around
Raider,
Lubbock, and then we throttle them.
If I'm the jaded Red Raider fan, I know I can be. Their get right game will be Tuesday night. 6 UCF, 5 Kansas, 4 Texas Tech, 3 Arizona, 2 Iowa State, and 1 Houston. So we were the same from 5 to 1, right?
Okay.
You had Tech at 4?
I had Tech at 4.
Okay. Clintel? Clint is doing this off the cuff.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm doing final touches as I go through because like I did it once and then I started remembering who beat who.
Yeah, that's
so
the
I
hard
shifted
part.
It around.
There's so many games in the league.
But then I went back on some. I was like, no, but I actually think they're playing better. All of that fun stuff.
I fully acknowledge that there were 2 that I picked right behind teams that they had just beaten.
Just beaten, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I finally stuck with. 16, Colorado. Shocker. 15, Oklahoma State. 14, the Bearcats. 13, Kansas State. 12, TCU. 11, Arizona State. 10, Utah. 9, I am much lower on West Virginia right now. I think the decline isn't just happening. I think it's revealing a little bit. 8, UCF. 7, BYU. I have Baylor at 6. I have Kansas at 5. Texas Tech at 4. Iowa State at 3. This is one I was going back and forth on with Iowa State and Arizona. I am going to give the 8-1 nod, even though it took that miracle 3 quarters court shot to even get into overtime. But I'm still going to go Arizona at 2.
What an awesome shot.
And Houston at 1.
Okay. It's hard for me to put Iowa State any lower than 2 because right now they're still projected as a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And
if I had to guess, like if we do this in 3 weeks from now, I think Iowa State will end back up at number 2.
Why is Iowa State taking over the Big 12 now that Texas is a year ago? I mean, they played in the Big 12 championship game in football, and right now they're top 2 or 3 in basketball.
It's a couple of good coaches. Their baseball team is, man, they don't
They're
ever
terrible.
win.
They never show up.
Yeah.
It's almost non-existent.
Which is funny. That's why C.S. Lesserton has scheduled them 40 times.
Lots of dubs right there. Here's a question, Jamie.
Okay.
With 11, this isn't from me. I can give you one if you want, but this is from user Sasok. With 11 games left in the men's basketball season, how many does Tech win for sure?
For sure.
Which ones do you feel confident writing it in pen?
Read them to me and I will tell you.
Oh, you want me to read you all the games? Okay, well, you start out at Houston.
Not the next 3. None of the next 3 are for sure.
For surezies. You got at Houston,
No.
Home against Baylor.
No.
At Arizona.
No.
I'm waiting on the rest of my schedule to load up. After that, you go home against Arizona State.
Yes.
At Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Wow. At TCU.
No.
Home against West Virginia.
No.
Home against Houston.
No.
At Kansas.
No.
Versus Colorado.
Yes.
At Arizona State.
I think I'm at 4, so yes.
Okay. 6.
I ended up with 6.
None of these are for sure. It's the Big 12. So I'll change the way I do it a little bit and say 75% sure or more. Is that not sure enough for sure? What's for sure to you? Like, what's your...
there's no way you're losing that game.
None of them. I mean, it's the Big 12. Maybe I'll put...
Ooh, this is the anti-choice take. What are you doing? Say you're going to win all of them the rest of the way out.
No, because then they lose. I've done that. I've played that game too much. If I be conservative, then Tech will just keep winning.
Say there's no way you lose at Houston on Saturday.
There's not. Just kidding. No, if anything, it's more closely to the opposite. It's going to be really, really difficult to win in Houston. I don't think it's impossible. I do think this Houston team isn't as good as the one from last year.
Agreed.
In my opinion. Shed was a big part of that. And I do think Tech matches up with Houston better than you did last year. You have more scoring to combat their really good defense.
Yeah, but I just don't think their defense is as suffocating as it was last year.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of those factors, I think, give you a chance.
But you've got to have one of those games where, I'm not saying you have to play a perfect game by any stretch, but you got to have everybody clicking. You would think you have to have Darian Williams playing well.
You know what can be the biggest, I guess, counter to a great defense? Great shooting.
Yeah.
And if you have a really good shooting night in Houston, that can be the trigger you need. That can be what gets it done.
Yeah, I think if you have a game like you played at home against Oklahoma State, you'll get blown out.
Yes.
By Houston.
I'd agree with that.
And that was a game that you won. That's kind of how I view it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. But there are other games where you've played better. I think offensively, if you have a game like you did against Cincinnati, then you'll have a real shot, say offensively. Houston's not a team that's just going to go outscore you, but they are a bully ball-ish team that will try to beat you up during this game. So I look at this game Saturday, and it is the one I have the least confidence in, and that's not a hot take. Everybody probably out there feels the same way.
And next Saturday would be high on the list, and then that
next Saturday at Arizona is probably 2.
KU would be high on the list.
KU is probably 3.
3. Yep.
I think I'd probably put Arizona ahead of KU at the moment, though it's pretty well a toss-up.
Yeah, I would agree.
Kansas has some flaws. Arizona's got some flaws. There's been 2 losses in Fog Allen this year. And maybe you say, okay, there's no way there's more than that. But it just feels like the Big 12 is takeable for the top teams. Houston, though, does seem to have a little bit of separation over the rest. It's the bottom line. Jamie's question of the day, Clint's question of the day, next on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Thursday with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jamie Lynch, to my right, I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way. I did get a text from my wife, who's apparently listening. She believes that we will win on Saturday. So So she's got it in the bag. I mean, not me. Y'all can't blame me now. We're good.
Okay. Well,
Someone else says Darian won't play Saturday. Houston 72-55. Darian playing against Baylor. Tech wins 77-71. Wreck 'em. Okay. I'm good with that. I do
it'd
kind
be
of
really
wonder,
hard to win without him.
I do kind of wonder if they'll not so much as wave the white flag, but sort of with Darian Williams and say, hey, we want him healthier. We want this whole twisting an ankle every single game thing to go away. So let's give him one extra game.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of wave the white flag for Houston and make sure he's good to go against Baylor. So I'm curious if that's – or maybe they have no thought of that and it's just he needs 2 games altogether. Or he plays Saturday. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting out in that one and just trying to ready him for a more winnable game against Baylor. Clint,
Makes sense to me.
Clint's got the question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, gentlemen, in the Big 12 of the 16 teams, there are 2 records that have a 9 and a 0 in them. Houston, currently 9-0. Colorado, 0-9. When the season is all said and done, what will there be more of? Houston wins in Big 12 play or Colorado losses?
That's a good question.
This is really good, Clint.
That's creative. Is this what you were doing for the last 2 days? Just thinking up your question of the day? You didn't actually...
This is a NyQuil-based question, yes.
this was fever dreams.
I'm going to go with Colorado losses.
We kind of,
I think Houston will lose a couple. I can't see Colorado winning more than
When I was
2.
first looking at it, I'll say this too. I was like, oh man, Houston has the tougher teams on the back 9. And then I look closer at Colorado, and it's pretty even.
Is it?
So,
someone sent us yesterday the remaining strength of schedule in the Big 12. I can't remember where Colorado was. I know that West Virginia was high on there. Don't remember Houston. They play each other. so
they do.
So this is one where
lucky Buffs.
Man, I'm just trying to look through these games.
Like Colorado's
I mean,
easiest opponents are TCU and Utah, and then to me TCU a second time. But the first time they see TCU and Utah are also both on the road, which does not help them.
Houston's toughest 2 games are in Tucson and Lubbock. Like that's their toughest 2 remaining games. Kansas,
Colorado also plays Kansas State, but that one also on the road.
Yeah, Kansas plays at Houston. If that was flipped, I would put that in that category. But Iowa State in Houston will be tough for them. I could see as many as 4 losses for Houston. As many as. But that would be Houston really coming back to the pack.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
It does. I don't think that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like 2 or 3, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. But there's 4 that they could lose. Colorado... Man, I don't know if I have more than 1 or 2 wins.
I'm like going through this and like, will they be 0-20? I don't think they will. But man, it's hard to imagine them getting like more than 2 wins, especially at this point.
I mean, they should play. What did you say the easiest game left was for them, Clint? Or did you?
I think the most winnable game is the last one at home against TCU.
Yeah.
Because they also see Kansas State, Utah, and TCU. All 3 of those are on the road. They do have UCF and Baylor at home, but I mean, are we picking?
They've got the worst schedule. Like I'm looking at this. They've got a terrible schedule. If Kansas State's folded up, maybe they can win that one in the third to last game. If Kansas State has already quit on drum tank completely.
Colorado's quit at that point too.
Yeah, most likely. You wonder if they've quit now.
Right now,
Sure.
that's the least appetizing Big 12 game you could draw up for me.
Not great. So yeah, I'm with. Wait. Wait. Did you said Colorado losses? More
I
of
said
those.
more Colorado losses.
I think I would go more Colorado losses. I think they might have 1 or 2 wins on the schedule. I think Houston is more likely to lose 2 to 4 games.
Yeah, I think that's where I sit too. Is more Colorado losses, but it is close.
It may be like 2 and 2. That may be where it ends up. I think I'd be surprised if Houston lost any less than 2 games. And I'd be surprised if Colorado won any more than 1.
That's where I am. I think that they'll win. They'll get 1.
They'll get a game.
Yeah, and I think
And it
Houston
might be-
will lose a couple.
Yeah. Yeah. I would set it at 3 for Houston. Someone's going to lose. I mean, someone's going to Houston will have a bad game along the way somewhere. Hopefully Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It'd be nice if they want to have their. Because Houston's not running 20-0 through this league, and they've got some tough games left. But man,
Also, if something bad happens on March 5th, let's not circle this question and go back to it. So
is March 5th the home
that's
game
the game at Lubbock.
against Houston? Yeah.
I just realized I've battered them twice. One with the question and then one with the question before is what game do you feel the best about? And I'm like, March 5th. That's a no-doubter. Let's start there.
Let's go. We got Fever Dreams horse name. It's a pretty good one. Also, this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
That does actually seem like a real horse.
Like a real horse name,
Yeah.
yes. Like something you would hear in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Fever Dreams. Go ahead, Clint.
Fever dreams have copped up delayed.
I was waiting for a sample call. Is Colorado basketball talk the dad joke segment today?
It'll probably be funnier.
Jamie? Hey, did you see something from your childhood's getting a little reboot? This is probably a little before your time.
I had a childhood?
Did you have a TV in your trailer house?
Yes, we
Okay.
did. Just one, though, but we
Just
did.
the one. Did it have the knob where you had to go
Yeah.
You had to be the remote for your dad?
I generally, when I was a kid, laid on the floor, all the time. So it was not a big deal to me.
Okay.
Just lean forward.
I did too.
I did too, I sat on the floor
I
and had
did-
baseball cards in front
Oh,
of me.
I didn't sit on the floor. If
Oh,
I
I'm
laid on the
sorting
floor
those out.
now, I might die after 10 minutes. I might not get back
Might
up.
die.
I'm
Die.
close to life alert.
I get down on the floor and play with the dog, and if he gets bored and moves away, there's a decent chance I may just take a nap.
I
Just
would
fall asleep
die.
right in the middle of our living room floor.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That sounds like has this ever happened to
Yeah,
you?
that's a sign of being old, I think is what it is.
Yeah. This actually probably...
Or doing a morning show.
This was probably slightly before your time, Jamie. Netflix is rebooting Little House on the Prairie.
That is my wife's favorite show.
It is. It's up there for my wife. The
That's
kids
Blaine
watch it
Ann's favorite
often.
show?
I believe
Lillian?
we have every episode on
I
VHS.
think we have it on DVD.
How
Y'all
often
have
do those
VHS?
VHSs get played?
How often?
Yeah.
Never.
You have VHS?
Yeah, I think she was given
You're
the whole collection as a Christmas gift.
Can I
one
come
year or
over and watch
something.
my Space Jam?
you were
You
VHS
cannot come
sometime?
over, no.
I knew that was the answer.
You were trying to sell me stuff earlier. My wife will buy the VHS of
Oh, really?
Little House. She probably would.
Hey, Choice, when she buys the VHS player, can I come over and watch Space Jam at your house? I'll bring the VHS.
Well, on
Oh, you want
Space
to buy
Jam?
the player or the movies?
No, the
Or
movies.
shows?
We've
Yeah.
got 2 VHS. We're the only.
Oh.
We're the only family in Lubbock that has 2 different VCRs.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we have 3.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.